Hello and welcome to this quick introduction video to Zom, a Web3 connected trading card game brought to you by Dead Games and RugZombie. The game is currently available on PC but will be available on Mac once we get a little closer to a more proper beta release. This is still a very early in development game, as you're going to see as we progress through here. As it is a Web3 connected game, the first time you fire it up, you will have to log in with your wallet. You can check off the Remember Me box down here if you don't want to have to do this every time you launch the game, but it is required at least the first time you do it. So you're going to click the login button and it's going to launch you a web browser and pop you up a little signature box here. And to note, this is not an actual transaction you're signing, it's just a message to validate that you have the wallet that you're saying you have, so that way we can get your public address, your private keys are not exposed or anything like that. So you just go ahead and click the old sign button, and then you're going to see this message here that it's complete. Click the copy button, and then you go back to the game, and it's going to log you in. You're going to see the splash screen and progress in through the game. If you've clicked the Remember Me button and you want to go ahead and make the game forget your public address, you can just click the logout button here on the main menu, and that will make it forget the address and kick you back to the login screen again. The general premise of the game is you and an opponent are going to do battle until only one of you remains. Eventually the game is going to have many different game modes with multiplayer and against the computer, tutorial modes and all that. Currently we just have this basic against an AI mode available. Everything is generated off these cards. All of your locations, which can be placed, this is where you basically start. Your starter location will be replaced by one of your cards. You've got the empty locations where you can play other ones at. They've got these little nodes attached to them. This is where you play your brains cards, which generate your brains nodes, which gives you your resources so you can play your other cards. And you've got these nodes in between, which is where all your characters are going to go as you play them and move about so you can do battle. All of the cards are eventually going to be associated with an NFT. Most of these NFTs already currently exist. Some are going to be created in the near future, and they can be obtained in a number of different ways. You can get them by staking zombie tokens over on the RugZombie platform. You can get them by purchasing NFTs through the Oblivion marketplace, and some will be available in-game as rewards for completing different tasks, completing the tutorial and things of that nature. In this starter mode, we basically give you 3 cards that you're always going to get to start with that have no cost associated with them. Brains cards never have an association with them, they only ever have a value with them. The current one only has a value of 1. It'll generate 1 every turn. There will be a way to get ones that generate more in the future, but that's going to be a little secret for now. You're going to start with a spawning pool location, which you can use to replace the starter location, so you can have an actual one, because you can't play your character cards at your starter location. You can only play them at an actual location. And you're going to start with a basic zombie, which has a couple of basic stats with it, and then you're going to get 2 random cards out of your deck, which is currently just a random assortments of cards. Eventually there's going to be full deck builders where you can build out your decks and customize them how you like, but for now we're just setting up with a little basic setup. I drew apparently 2 dragon farms. The game is played in successive rounds. You take your turns and then the opponent will take theirs. For this, obviously, when you're playing against the AI, you're always going to start first. In the multiplayer, there will be, of course, a coin toss type setup where that will be determined. But you're always going to basically do the same thing. If you have any brains to harvest, you would probably want to harvest those based on how many you need to play your cards. For this first turn, obviously, you don't have any to play, or don't have any to harvest, so you're just going to play these 0-cost cards. So you're going to start with your location. We're going to go ahead and pop that right on here. And now we've got a spawning pool. Obviously, we've got graphics coming. They're not quite ready yet. We just needed to get this version ready for the GameJam, which is something I'll talk about at the end, which is on the Nervos testnet. Once you've got your location out, you probably want to go ahead and attach your brains node to that, so that way it's going to be generating brains every turn. And then go ahead and toss your little basic zombie out there. Once you have that out there, you want to go ahead and probably move it. Some of these characters, like the slow zombie, it has a spawn time, so once you play it, you're not going to be able to move it or do anything with it until its timer's up, which is obviously going to be 1 turn for a slow zombie, because you can see that right there on the screen. It also has other attributes. Obviously, let's go through that now. It's got 1 hit point, 1 attack, spawn time is 1, and for the slow zombie, it actually has a move of 0. It can't move, it's just there as a defender. Once you've played all your cards that you're ready to play, you're going to go ahead and move any characters, assign any attacks. Right now, we only got one thing we're going to be able to do, and that's move it. So we can go ahead and click this guy here. It'll jump to the character, and you've got move and attack. For now, we're just going to go ahead and move it, and we're going to send him up here. He can only move basically 3 nodes at a time, so he can go this far. You can click the far one and it'll requeue when we get there, but I'm just going to go there for now because I want to see what he's going to do, be a little bit strategic about it. And once you've got everything done that you're going to do for this turn, you're going to go ahead and click the end turn button for now, and it moves over to the other player who's going to defend and move on. For this one, it's going to do a lot of skipping because there's not a lot to happen here. Once your turn is over, the enemy's going to play his. He played a spawning pool. He popped out a basic zombie. He played his brains card. And he's moving it down towards me. He did requeue. So this little arrow means his character is going to continue moving on the next turn. So let's progress through his turn again while I was talking. It's my turn again. So let's see. I've got another brains. Let's go ahead and stick this on here. I've got 1 brain stored up on here that I could play, so I think I'm going to, these Zomburgers don't actually do anything at this point, so I'm going to not play those, but I am going to play this slow zombie, get him out there as a defender to be ready for his basic zombie coming. So we'll harvest that. Once you click it, you can see it gave me a brain up here, and it means I got 1 brain that I can spend, and I'm going to pop this guy right out here. And he's got 1 turn before he's ready, so he can't actually do anything until the next turn, which is fine. We want to go ahead and do this guy. I'm going to mention at this point, you can hit the C button or click this little button down here and move between the overhead fixed camera and one that is fully movable. You can mouse wheel to scroll around, left wheel to move, and right click and drag to rotate. And you can just kind of move around, and then you can just click this button and return yourself back to there if that's what you want to do. But we're going to go ahead and move my slow zombie, or sorry, my basic zombie up here and get ready to attack on the next turn. And it's going to progress through his turn, go through all of his fun stuff there. He's choosing his move, he's choosing to change it. He did play another brains node, so he's got 2 out there. And he didn't play any other cards, so I'm assuming that he didn't have any with a low enough cost for him to play. And it's progress to my turn. Now this is where we can actually show you some of the other things that are going to happen within a turn. One thing I do want to mention, currently the health is made up basically the health of all your buildings. In the next iteration, it's going to be made up of the health of all your buildings and all your characters that you have played out there, so that's something that's going to change. For this basic test, we wanted to make it go a little quicker, so it's just set to the health of all the buildings. So for my strategic phase, let's see what I got. I got a graveyard. It's a pretty pricey card. I can't play it. I've got another graveyard. That's not helpful. And I got a Y Panda. It costs 3. I've only got 2 available, 1 on each of these nodes, so nothing I can do as far as playing my cards. So I'm going to go ahead and set this guy up to attack his location. Boom, attack is set up. Click the end turn. He's choosing defenders, which he doesn't have any. He can. In the battle phase, you can see that my characters are going to go ahead and attack his locations. And it's going to progress on to the next turn, which is his. He's coming in to find his attacker. Now, it's the defense phase, so this is where I'm going to define my defenders. So he's obviously attacking this location. And I'm going to go ahead and click that, assign him as a defender. We do have plans, obviously, to make this a little more clear what's going on, like make him identify as an attacker once we have actual character models and a map and all of that. Again, this is very early in development. So once you've got everyone all defined, go ahead and click defenders, and it's going to go oh, sorry. Once you've clicked all your defenders and it's ready, you can click your end turn button and it's going to go and attack. He killed my defender, which is fine because he didn't get to attack my base, and moves on. Now it's my strategic turn again. This process is going to repeat until one player is left, until you've destroyed all of your opponent's locations, all of their characters, and that's when the game's going to end. So I'm going to go ahead and jump forward to show you what happens at the end of the game, where you can claim your reward, and we'll talk about the testnet and everything like that. Once you've beaten your opponent, you're going to get your little game over window here. If you've defeated, you can claim your NFT prize. Currently, this is just a test NFT that we have deployed on the Nervos testnet. We don't have any real prizes. We don't have the multiplayer server to mediate reward management and all of that. This is just a basic proof of concept for some certain things. So you can go ahead and just click it. It's going to pop you back out to that same chain safe site as before. This time it will require you to pay, as it's an actual transaction, so it's about 9 cents worth of CKB. It's only on the testnet, so this is free. We'll have some links down in the description for how to obtain some faucet testnet CKB, and you just go ahead and you can confirm that transaction, and once it goes through, you're good. And then we'll go ahead and go back out to the menu. So like I mentioned, this game is currently only deployed on the Nervos Godwoken testnet. We did it as part of the GameJam, which is currently ongoing. So if this is before Wednesday the 20th of July, I believe is when voting ends, you can go ahead and click the link below to go to itch.io, download it there, give it a try, and if you enjoy it, go ahead and leave us a rating. Once this game is in a more complete beta, it will be multi-chain between the Nervos Godwoken chain as well as the Binance Smart Chain, as primarily most of the current NFTs are on the Binance Smart Chain through the RugZombie platform, but we will be of course having a number of NFTs released on both platforms, so it might be good if you're one of those people that want to collect every single card to get set up on both of those blockchains. Thank you for checking out this video on Zom the Game from Dead Games. If you have any issues with the game, find any bugs, or want to reach out for any reasons, you can contact the development team at support@deadgames.io. And otherwise, stay tuned for more updates.